5. Blessings everyone, and welcome to part 5 of the UltraPedestrian Wilderness Challenge 2019 wrap-up / 2020 kickoff virtual video Pseudo-Cyber party. This is the final installment of our version of our party this year, since we can't all meet up at Seven Hills Running Shop in Seattle like we normally do. We've done it in a series of videos to reveal all of the routes and everything. So this is part 5. And if you're some sort of really patient badass who didn't want to watch any of them till they were all out and you're sitting down to watch all 5 of these in a row, then it probably is feeling like a real party to you. And this is the part where you're getting kind of faded and wondering what thing is going to happen next so that it can finally all wrap up. So the 2 things that are happening today, we're announcing the 5th and final challenge for 2020, which I'm excited about because it's in a new area where I doubt many people have ever gone before, even though it's not that far from Seattle or Spokane. It's kind of midway between the two. And it is something that, as far as I know of, hasn't been done before. I mean, I'm sure it has, but I've never heard of it before. So it is a lake bagging challenge instead of a peak bagging challenge. So we're going to get to that first. Then after that, we're going to have the prize drawing for the inaugural bonus points Bonanza. So everybody who submitted bonus points videos, including the one that's in this video as well, all those people's names are put in a literal hat. And we're going to draw 2 of those names, and 2 people will receive each a $50 gift certificate to Seattle Mountain Running Shop. So you can redeem that in person if you're local or if you're going to be in Seattle, and if not, they can help you out over the phone and website. So you can use it either way. So we've got those being awarded, and that's kind of exciting. So this is the first time that we've done our bonus points Bonanza, but I bet you it's not going to be the last. So let's get into the 5th and final challenge of the new challenges this year for the UltraPedestrian Wilderness Challenge. And this is the Ancient Lakes TATL Challenge. That's TATL, and that stands for Touch All the Lakes. So the challenge here is, by whatever route you design, to touch all 20 of the named lakes in the Quincy Lakes unit of the Columbia Basin Wildlife Area. So the Ancient Lakes area, this is located just south of Quincy, Washington. So it's in between Highway 2 and I-90. And this is a really unique area. This is part of the path of the ancient mega floods from when ancient Lake Missoula burst through its ice dam and came racing across Washington, creating the channeled scablands, and all the way down to the Columbia and then out to the ocean at Astoria. And so a lot of the really unique geologic and geographic features in Washington state are the result of these ancient mega floods, and the Ancient Lakes area is one of these areas. So it's a really unique area that I doubt many people have even been to. And for those who have, because there is, I believe, a recently developed ultramarathon held there, the ultramarathon doesn't go to all of these lakes. This is going to be a unique challenge, so this will be a unique way to experience this area. So there are 20 named lakes in the Ancient Lakes area. There's the 4 lakes which make up what's called Ancient Lake. There is the Judith Pool, H Lake, Stan Coffin Lake, Flat Lake, Quincy Lake, Burke Lake, Evergreen Reservoir, Cree Lake, Dot Lake, Crystal Lake, the 2 lakes that make up Spring Lakes, Cup Lake, Cascade Lake, Cliff Lake, and Dusty Lake. So there's 20 lakes that you need to touch to fulfill this challenge, but you can get to them by whatever route you design. There are a lot of trails in the area, but not to and from every lake. There are roads as well, DNR roads, and there is cross-country travel and use of game trails. Yeah, you can look at it on Google Earth or on CalTopo and use one of the satellite views, and you can see that there are game trails and way trails across some of these areas, but it's going to be perhaps a unique challenge for some people that aren't used to doing any sort of cross-country navigation. So I'm pretty excited about this because I've never heard of lake bagging as a thing compared to peak bagging, and it's really kind of the inverse of a peak bagging challenge, right? Because in a peak bagging challenge, you're trying to touch all these high points, but lakes, water gathers in low points. So, but all you have to do is touch the surface of the lake. You do not have to dive down and touch the lowest point. So it's really not equivalent to the inverse of a peak bagging challenge in that sense. But in the description below, there's a link to a CalTopo map where it shows you all 20 of the lakes that you're supposed to touch. There are also numerous other potholes and ponds and small unnamed lakes in the area, and you're very welcome to touch any of those for bonus points. Since this is an area kind of like the channeled scablands, it's a large area where these mega floods rushed through. There's some elevation gain and loss, but overall it's a relatively low elevation and relatively flat area. So there's the possibility that this could be done year round. It'd be a way to bag some pretty serious firsties and or lasties to do it on December 31st or January 1st. So that is the 5th of the new routes for 2020 for the UltraPedestrian Wilderness Challenge, the Ancient Lakes Touch All the Lakes Challenge. This is on state land, so there should be a very good chance of it opening up earlier than federal land is going to, and possibly opening up even if in instances where federal land, such as possibly Mount Rainier National Park, are not going to open. I think this project will be a good fit specifically for the weird 2020 season with the coronavirus pandemic, but it will also just be a really unique challenge to add to the cadre of challenges that are part of the UltraPedestrian Wilderness Challenge. So whether you're an old school UPWC player or someone who's brand new to it, this should be a unique challenge either way. So I'm hoping a bunch of people will go out and enjoy this really unique part of Washington. This is the sort of terrain in Washington that people would not imagine being part of Washington State. When you picture Washington State and you think of these lush green mossy dripping forests, this is nothing like that. So check out the link, and we will have this up on Ultra Sign Up pretty soon. We'll have the new routes up on there. I don't know if we have them up yet, but we will get them up soon. As you're watching this, state parks have just begun to open up for day use again, so that's a good sign. So exciting times, weird times, difficult times, but at least we're starting to get to some of the more exciting aspects of it, where some things are starting to open up again. So hopefully this all goes well and we can all start safely getting out into some beautiful and challenging places to reconnect with our fundamental humanity. I know if you're anything like me, even a little bit, this has been a pretty crazy experience, and you're ready to get out into the outdoors and get into some new places. So the Ancient Lakes Challenge is a unique opportunity to do just that as soon as those lands are officially open. Watch the Facebook group for the UltraPedestrian Wilderness Challenge, and we'll be trying to keep updated on what areas are opening, but obviously the UPWC players are all paying attention to that, and it's such a collective and cooperative community. I'm sure we'll be helping each other keep aware of which challenges are open and available to be taken on as the season progresses.
I am slowly going crazy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, switch. Crazy going slowly am I. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, switch. I am slowly going crazy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, switch. Crazy going. going slowly am I? 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, switch. I am slowly going crazy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, switch. Crazy going slowly am I? 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, switch. I'm slowly going crazy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, switch. Crazy going slowly am I? 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, switch. I am slowly going crazy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, switch. Crazy going slowly am I? 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, switch. I am slowly going crazy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, switch. Crazy going slowly am I? 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, switch. I am slowly going crazy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, switch. Crazy going slowly am I? 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, switch. I am slowly going crazy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, switch. Crazy going slowly am I? 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, switch. I am slowly going crazy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, switch. Crazy going slowly am I? 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, switch. I am slowly going crazy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, switch. Crazy going slowly am I? 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, switch. I am slowly going crazy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, switch. Crazy going slowly am
Oh my God.
And now it is time to literally draw names out of a hat. So these are all the people who submitted bonus points videos and or appeared in bonus points videos. So we've got Ellen Maud, Christie's Apollo, Shelly Mann, Sean Michael, Jean Ruggiero, Amanda Mazenga, Christopher Johnson, Marna Cagle, Heidi Flora, Sarah Brower, Katie Teagirl, John Lum, and Anna Hines. All of your names are in here, in the hat. All right, I'm gonna crouch down so that I can't see what's going on here. Mixing things up. I think this looks pretty legit. I mean, I think this is almost as legit as like a Powerball drawing, right? I don't have any idea. You saw me put the names in there. There's only one of each. So, first name coming out right here, and it is Christopher Johnson. So congratulations, Christopher. You've won one of the $50 gift certificates to Seven Hills Running Shop. So since Christopher's already won, this is getting crumpled up, tossed out of the way. So everybody whose names are still in here, your odds just improved. We're gonna draw one more. Gonna just do some randomly semi-unnecessary additional randomizing and choose one more name. Who's it gonna be? What does that say? It's upside down. And it is Marna Cagle. All right, so Marna, congratulations. You won the second of the $50 gift certificates to Seven Hills Running Shop. So big thanks to everybody whose name is in this hat, everybody who submitted a bonus points video. Thank you. I love those moments that make things different and extra, whether it's an extraordinary over-the-top experience or a fail. The things that make it extra, that earn you those bonus points, are what are so cool and inspiring about reading your trip reports and seeing the content that you produce from the UPWC routes that you take on. So special thanks to everybody who participated in the bonus points bonanza this year. And we are still figuring out exactly how to let everybody choose their prizes. I'm basically going to be messaging and or emailing everybody about that one at a time, kind of in order, so that people can choose the prizes, because normally you get to come up to the table and choose, you know, one prize, whatever you want. So watch your Facebook Messenger and or your email for a message from me where you get to pick out which prize you like best of those remaining by the time I contact you. So I do know I've already been in touch with Jaunty John Barrickman, who won our Badass of the Year for 2019, and he chose the Gossamer Gear LT5 carbon fiber trekking poles. So congratulations, John. Good job. You definitely earned those, and I know you'll be putting some miles on them this year. So thank you so much from me and Kathy to everybody who participates in the UltraPedestrian Wilderness Challenge. It takes a different sort of person to do this. It's not like going out to an organized race. It's a different sort of challenge, and I really appreciate everybody who participates in this and takes on a challenge. And I love you hearing your stories, from everybody to the experienced people who go out and put up these impressive performances, to the brand new people who are struggling with their own fears and newly developed skills to even just complete a route. I love seeing all the different methodologies people use doing it, from the ultra runners carrying almost nothing to the old school backpackers who've got a sleeping bag and a tent and a cook set up and take a number of days to do it. These are all super cool and legitimate ways to take on these routes and to have your own experience, which we all then get to compare. So thank you to everybody who participates. I'm looking forward to witnessing an amazing season this year. It's a little bit weird, but don't worry about it. It all is just life. We're all dealing with this thing. We're all hopefully doing our best and taking care of each other and staying safe. So as the public lands are opened up, we'll continue to do our best to stay safe as far as communicable diseases go, and hopefully get out there and take some well thought out risks, enjoying some incredible experiences out in some beautiful and challenging terrain.